Hi everyone, welcome back to the Puttering Penman. Today we're going to be doing a review of the Pilot Custom 823. We'll just get right to it. This is the box it comes in. It's a cardboard box, has a Pilot logo on top. Let's take that off. Here it comes with a use and care guide, a description of how the vacuum filling mechanism works. Then inside, you sort of have this like little presentation box with a cushion, a little warning telling you not to take the nib out. The pen comes in this plastic sleeve. The pen itself sat right here, and then right here was a bottle of the 70 milliliter Pilot Blue ink, which I've since taken out and put somewhere else. Get the packaging out of the way. And now let's get to the pen. So here's the pen itself. So you can see it's a cigar-shaped pen. Looks classic. Right now in the US, you can get the amber color demonstrator material, which is this. It's sort of a brown color with gold trim. You can also get the smoke version, which is a clear black pen with also gold trim. And then the other version, which you can get from a seller in Japan, is a clear pen with, I believe, black end caps and gold trim also. So if you're somebody who likes silver or rhodium colored trim, you're out of luck with the Pilot Custom 823. But I think the gold complements this brown color really well. Again, like I said, cigar-shaped pen. You have a Pilot clip with the typical like ball at the end of the clip. It says Pilot right here. Should be pretty familiar with this. They do this on, the Pilot Custom 74, 742, 743. On the band, it says Custom 823 with 3 stars, Pilot made in Japan with 3 more stars. Coming down here, just, regular barrel, it's see-through. I've got a blue ink in here and I can see the level of the ink. Might be hard for you to see on camera. But in person, you can definitely tell your ink level really well. Another gold band, and then this is the end of the pen, which is actually the vacuum filling knob, which I'll show when we get to the writing. Cap comes off. Here's the nib. I think this is actually a really good looking nib. It's a Pilot 15 size nib, which is about the same size as, like a Jowo or Bach number 6 size nib, maybe a little bit bigger. Really pretty nib. It's gold. The section here is the same brown color as the 2 end caps of the pen. The section itself is a good size, I think. Not too big, not too small. The threads are very smooth, so if you do hold your pen back further, it's not going to be an issue. And then here is the piston knob. I'm going to unscrew this. And so if you were using the vacuum filling mechanism, you'd pull this out, dip the nib in the bottle of ink, and then push this knob back into the pen, and it's going to create a vacuum so that once the vacuum mechanism is all the way back into the pen, it's going to suck the ink into the pen. This pen holds a really good amount of ink. I think it's like 2.5 milliliters. I use this pen at home every day, and I go about 4 weeks between filling the pen again, which is really nice. One thing to note, if the knob is fully screwed into the pen like this, you can write with the pen, but all the ink capacity you'll have is only what's in the nib and feed. If you're going to do a long writing sample, you will want to unscrew this knob so that way ink can flow freely between the barrel and the feed. But I can get about like 2 or 3 pages in without unscrewing this knob, so if you're using it as like a quick pen in meetings, like you're not going to have a problem, as long as maybe every now and then you're unscrewing this and letting ink come back into the nib. Let's do a few size comparisons here. As always, we'll compare it to the Pilot Metropolitan, Lamy Safari, TWSBI Eco. You can see larger than all three. This pen is actually pretty light because it's made out of plastic. I think it's 26 grams with the cap. So, again, pretty good sized pen. I've never had any issues with it. And then let's just compare it to also the Pelikan M120, which is a smaller pen. And one more pen I'll compare it to is the Pilot Vanishing Point. So, there you go. Now let's write. I usually write with this pen unposted. It does post, and it will post also when the knob is out of the pen here. And yeah, posts just fine. Doesn't pull the vacuum knob out at all. This is the Pilot Custom 823. This is a 14 karat gold medium nib. Today's ink is Pilot Blue Black. And so let me show you the bottle on that. This is the 30 milliliter bottle. Comes like this. And then this is the bottle itself. I think it's a good size ink. And I really like the color of Pilot Blue Black, but more so than the color, I like the properties of it. It has a little bit of water resistance and also a little bit of fade resistance if you leave your writing out in the sun. It's not advertised as water resistant or fade resistant, but I've done like the ink comparisons myself, like soaking the paper in water, and while a lot of the ink will go away, your writing is still readable, which I think is good for an everyday ink. The paper is a Rhodia A5 pad. That skip there was me lifting the paper off the pen as I looked back at my camera to see if you could see what I was writing. So overall, this pen is great. It's my favorite nib in my collection. It's, I just think it's such a great writing experience. The nib is so smooth to write with. It's, when I first got this pen, I did at times have some hard starting. That eventually went away as I cleaned out my pen more and used it more. I think some of the manufacturing oils were probably in the nib and feed. That eventually went away. I don't have that issue anymore. And this is just such a great pen to use all the time because it has such a large ink capacity. When you're traveling with the plane, because of the vacuum filling mechanism, the ink in the barrel is actually shut off from the nib. Like I said before, you'll have like maybe 2 pages of writing with the ink in the nib and feed. But because of that, you don't have to worry about this pen leaking on an airplane. So it makes it a really good travel pen. I think it looks really nice. And like I said, this pen is just always inked for me. The only pen in my collection that's been inked since I've had it. I've had this pen for a year and it's always been inked. So overall, really good experience. In terms of price, it's $288, I think, from U.S. retailers. Not an inexpensive pen, but I think it's well worth the money. This writes really well. Like pens more expensive, it better than pens less expensive too. Overall, I just don't think you're going to be disappointed with this pen if you like the look of it, and you're willing to pay about $300 for a pen. Well, that is my review of the Pilot Custom 823. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you next time.